Hello, I'm Vern Gambetta of Gambetta Sports Training Systems. I'm here with Steve Merlin from University of Wisconsin. And what we're going to do is go through some of our thoughts and just talk a little bit about how we use a real interesting tool called the Speed and Agility Ladder. Steve, how have you used the Speed and Agility Ladder?
We use it with a lot of different sports, Vern. It improves footwork, it improves coordination, it improves balance. It's fun to use, so the athletes take to it pretty well. And you can amplify drills, you can make them slightly plyometric in nature. You can do so many things with it that it's really bounded only by your imagination.
I mean, we know how important footwork is. We hear all the time about quick feet and that kind of stuff, and there's some people that think, well, you either have it or you don't. And I know you've had a lot of experience with it. Maybe you could share that with us.
Well, the real validation for using it, I think, happened just this past summer. We were working with the campers at all these soccer camps, and some of the counselors that had never used it before from other universities would get exposed to it once or twice a week. And what I saw over the course of 2 or 3 weeks of soccer camp is that they improved dramatically, and they were so excited about it that it was visible. It doesn't take that much practice to improve, and once you've got that going, it's exciting.
Well, what I found is it's real important to be consistent with it. We're going to share with you about 45 to 50 drills with a lot of variations, and I think what you've found and what I've found is that you can do 5 to 8 of those drills daily at the start of your practice, regardless of what the sport is, and see tremendous improvement in footwork and quickness and body awareness and that.
It's a nice warm-up. It's sort of like reprogramming your body for technical moves. You can make the moves general, you can make them sport-specific. It's a very adaptable tool.
Right. Well, I've used it a lot with a lot of sports, football, basketball, baseball, soccer, tennis, and even the big linemen in football, that kind of stuff. So, it's a real versatile tool, and I don't want people to think that it's limited just to like running backs in football or point guards or that kind of thing.
Vern, I would use this with hockey players. I would use this with soccer, tennis, as you mentioned. All these things, they're creative sports. They require creative footwork and good balance. There's application for this in all of those.
Right. In addition, we've used it a lot for rehab.
Yes.
Yeah. I know you have too, and it's been real good helping people back from ACL injuries, ankle sprains, that kind of stuff, to get real good proprioception in that.
Absolutely.
So it's a real neat tool, and what we want to do is go out on the field now and stop talking and let you all take a look at some of the drills and see, and we put the drills in an order so that you can go from easy to hard, simple to complex. We're going to show you the drills and really emphasize the rhythm, work on the ground contact. You can do it on a lot of different surfaces. Above all, have fun, and let's get out to the field and get started. Alternate hitting your feet in opposite squares of the ladder. The forward 2-in rhythm now is right, left, right, left in each square of the ladder. The half karaoke crosses in front with the back foot hitting every other square. On the lateral 1-in, you will alternate feet hitting each square of the ladder. As you move sideways down the ladder, it would be left, right, right. The lead foot always goes in first. It consists of a 4-count rhythm. In, out, in, out, in, out. This is a drill for spatial awareness where you jump 180-degree turns hitting each box. Alternate hitting the inside foot in each square of the ladder. Be sure to keep your weight shifting from right to left to right to left over the ladder. Straddle the first rung of the ladder with the left leg leading. Jump in 90-degree incremental turns as you travel down the ladder in a 4-count rhythm. Start with both feet outside the ladder facing down the length of the ladder. The inside foot steps in first in a 3-count rhythm. In, out, in, out, in, out. This is an excellent drill to work on foot quickness and keeping your hips over your feet. On the one-in ollie shuffle, notice the rotational action of the hips leading the feet. The lead foot is always in the box and the trail foot is always out. Here, the leading foot is now out while the trailing foot is always in. This is the opposite of what we did in the beginning series with the forward snake jump. Now we're increasing the proprioceptive demand by moving backwards. Once again, we're taxing the spatial awareness component, but we're making it more difficult by moving both clockwise and counterclockwise. The backward slalom jump is made more difficult simply by moving backwards. Notice how the hips are opening in the direction of movement. This is again a backward version of our forward shuffle, which increases proprioceptive demand. Notice here how the leading hip will open in the intended direction of motion. That will help put your feet in the correct position. It is the hips that help position the feet in all the exercises. The outside foot always steps across the inside foot to land alone in the square. This is the same movement as the forward cross step. The key here is to notice how the hips are leading the feet. The same foot is always going to land in the ladder, and the other foot will never land in the ladder. This involves making 2 quick front cross steps in succession. In, cross, cross, out. In, cross, cross, out. In, cross, cross, out. Here, the lead foot will always cross behind. Notice how the hip is opening to help lead that foot. Now we're taking our shuffle movement and increasing the amplitude of the movement to increase eccentric loading on the outside foot. Notice here how the weight is shifted to the outside each time. This will help tremendously in planning and cutting type of movements. Now on the backward shuffle bound, it is the same movement, but we're now again opening the hips to help facilitate the movement. Once again, the weight is on the outside foot. Here we're going to take our basic cross-step movement and amplify the movement, putting the emphasis on the outside foot to help change direction. What we're doing here is increasing eccentric loading, which is essential for changing direction and strengthening to prevent injury. We are now moving backward on the cross step bound. Notice how the hips, once again, have to open in order to lead the action. This series of exercises uses the same techniques as the previous exercises with the added benefit of resistance. This is the same motion as the slalom jump, but we are amplifying the movement, putting the emphasis on the inside leg. Notice how much deeper Steve goes on this exercise, which helps work eccentric strength. Now we're taking the same exercise and putting the emphasis on the outside leg. So we work both legs equally, once again emphasizing eccentric strength. To increase the demand of the exercise, we now add the mini bend. This is an advanced version and should only be done after the other exercise is mastered. increase the difficulty of the exercise, we are taking a basic one in and adding a change of direction. Because change of direction and quick changes are so important in sports, coupled with footwork, now we are moving back and forth down the ladder in different patterns. Building on our previous exercises, we are now combining them in a change of direction. Here, one ladder is placed at 90 degrees. Now we're moving back in the opposite direction. Notice how the ladder is folded over in the middle. Now we're going to use two ladders and combine movements. So just take your footwork from your previous drills and figure out which drills would be most appropriate to combine and put two ladders in a T shape. Here, the ladders are crossed in order to combine movement. Again, using two ladders, there's no limit to what you can do. Just use your creativity and imagination and make it specific to the sport or the movements that you're training for. Before moving to two ladders, it is really important to emphasize that you must have mastery of the basic drills before you try to put them together in combinations like this. These are advanced versions of the exercises. What you see here now is movements where we will take our basic footwork and then have to transfer them to sprinting out of them in different positions, just like what occur in various sports. Now here we're going to take our basic footwork movements on the ladder and react visually to hand signals. Now we're going to incorporate movement on the ladder with a kinesthetic reaction to a touch. To make the footwork drills more sport-specific, add a ball. Once again, you have to master the basic movements before you can do this. Steve, that was a great job. I think you'll probably sleep well tonight after doing about 8,000 drills. So, you have any final thoughts you want to share with me about what I should emphasize in that when I use a speed ladder?
I just want to explain that the way to learn these drills well is to learn them quickly, practice them slowly.
Good.
Don't confuse rhythm with tempo. Get your rhythm, hear the rhythm, and then you can push your tempo once you've got the drills down. The other thing is you can't be afraid to fail on these. I did several times, and I think that's important. You just don't get embarrassed by not being able to do it right away. It's sort of like dancing. It helps if you have a musical background. You can hear those rhythmic steps. But above all, have fun with it and play.
Right. Well, we hope that you enjoy using the speed ladder as much as we do and have as much success with it as we've had. So good luck, and if we can help you out, please feel free to contact us. Thanks a lot.